This is the Seiko SKX013. It's an automatic diver with the screw down, crown 37 mm case, and only 13 mm tall. I'm keen. I'm 18 and I like reviewing mostly smaller to mid-size watches. If you didn't hear the news, this watch was discontinued. I'm relatively new to watches, so I don't remember when these were super popular. I guess I was just born in the wrong generation. You can find these watches on the used marketplace like eBay, Amazon, or local pre-owned shops. Prices for this watch can vary at the moment. You can pay around $300 for a used one on eBay. Add like $20 to $100 for a good strap or bracelet, and you got yourself an incredible watch for the money. Just watch out for modified SKX on the other hand. If you try to buy a brand new one off Amazon, it'll set you back $1,000. I mentioned it was discontinued. So what else does Seiko offer? Well, Seiko has a solar diver for around $400. These are super cool, and I'd love getting one in for review, but let's say you wanted an automatic diver. Well, then you got the SEO 5 Ranger around $200, but a lot of these don't come with a screw-down crown, and a lot of collectors just don't feel safe swimming without crown. That screws down. An honorable mention is the Black Bay 54. It's a smaller mid-size automatic diver. But at more than 10 times the price, it's not quite what we're going to be talking about. So what are some similar watches from other brands that offer similar value? The Orient Kamasu first off. This is an amazing watch. I've actually seen this watch in the wild. I work as a server at a restaurant, and someone was wearing it. It looked really awesome on them. However, there's one slight problem with this watch. It's just for me. That's too big, 42x47 MMM on my 5 1/2 wrist just doesn't really work for me. But let me be clear about my bias towards smaller watches. They're more comfortable and they're just way cooler in my opinion. But if you're also looking for an affordable mid-size automatic diver, the SKX013 is really the best option. But what a great watch to have is your best option. Any SEO SKX is free. Respect from any other enthusiast. I've had family members who aren't watch fanatics tell me that this is a great looking watch. It's got brush finishing on the top and polished on the side and hide scratches really well. This printed Dow isn't as nice looking as the implied numerals, but I personally think that looks really sharp. The case is made from stainless steel, and ask anyone who's worn a Seiko before, and they'll be able to tell you how comfortable Seiko cases are. Something about Seiko cases are proportioned so well. The exact measurements are 37.8 by 44.4. With a thickness of 13 mm, it has a lug width of 20 mm, which is way more versatile than the bigger brothers, 22 mm. And the presence at 5 mm smaller is definitely smaller. But surprisingly from the side, they have a very close lug. The lug, which means that even if you have a larger wrist, you could probably still try this one on. I think it would work great on my 5 1/2 interest. I think I can pull off both. But this SKX013 is slightly more comfortable. And in my opinion, it just looks a lot better. The SKX range comes with a 7S26 movement. This is a tank of movement, but let's just look at the specifications you're getting. 21 dual movement with a 41-hour power reserve at a B rate of 3 Hz, all pretty standard for an entry-level movement. But it comes with a day-date complication set at 3 o'clock, and both have quick set, which is really nice. But this movement is super reliable. It has Seiko's Dios technology, which is really good. I've dropped an old 60s Seiko with Dios. Chic, and it just kept keeping great time. It's also anti-magnetic to 60 gal. Let me just say I've taken my watches around a lot of magnetic fields. We're talking like hospitals, airports, music equipment, laptops, like anything you could think of, and I haven't magnetized my watch yet, so don't think you need an Omega Railmaster just to enjoy your watch. All these features mean that this watch can totally stand up to offerings nowadays. As of 24, that is, however, there are 2 things to be aware of. One is the movement doesn't hack when you pull out the crown to the furthest position, so the second hand won't stop when you're setting the watch. If you're super serious about setting your watch down to the exact second, this might frustrate you, but you could always just wait until it dies to set it again. 2. This watch doesn't handline, so that just means you're going to look a little silly while shaking your watch around. you. Just don't let these hold back the 7S26 movement in SEO0. 13 is really a reliable movement, and I haven't had any issues with it while owning it moving on to the dial on this watch. It's a very clean look. It has big hands and big markers full of lume that last way longer than there has any right to. It's well balanced with the triangle at the top and the pill-shaped markers across.